Hi guys, welcome back on board to the Crypto Cruiser. It's me, Chris, and today we're going to talk about the Bitcoin chart and where it's heading next week. That's going to be the weekly markets look ahead, and how potentially next week can play out for Bitcoin. And of course, we're going to talk some traditional markets such as S&P 500, where they're heading as well. So let's get started, guys. Let's just start with the Bitcoin chart. And right now, we are breaking out of this huge yearly resistance line that I've told you. um, if we break out of it, this is gonna be epic because we had multiple tests. As you can clearly see, we had one test in 16th of April, its previous all-time high price of around 64,000. We had another test in October of 2021, and we actually broke out of it. But once we came back, we couldn't hold it, and we dropped further down. That was the previous all-time high at the price of around 69,000. Then, of course, we had another test in March of 2024, hitting again an all-time high for 73, over 73,000, and now we're having again a breakout. I mean, this one is a significant broke on the upside. So let's see how it's gonna play out. I'm still hesitant, 50%. Of course, I'm still on all my trades. Let's see how it's gonna play out. But in my personal opinion, I think it will be healthy for the overall trend to have a correction, just a correction to come back to prices at price of around 72, 73,000, maybe consolidate a little bit, and then we snap on the upside. I think that'll be the best case scenario. But I mean, as I've told you guys, I'm not gonna be surprised at all if we break out of this huge yearly resistance line, and then we have a huge upside momentum, and then there's gonna be no corrections. Of course, once we hit high prices of above 87, 90,000, and then perhaps we're gonna have a correction, or we're just gonna snap through it, and we're gonna have way higher prices, because once we have prices covered for Bitcoin, anything can happen. uh, so basically, I mean, let's see how it's gonna play out. So basically, I just want to show you something. So this huge triangle pattern here, measured from the top here to the bottom, from 70,000 to 49,000, that's around 20,000, right? That's around 21,000. So we broke out of it on 19th of September. We had another test on 2nd of October, and we had another test here on 10th of October at price of around 58,000. So measured from the move, that would be price of around 78, 79, 80,000. Right now, we broke out of it. As I've said, we tested it. I've told you from 58, we're gonna go to 70,000. We're gonna have a correction. We're gonna test these previous local tops at 65 and 66,500. We turn them into support. We're gonna we actually formed a double formation, which is a bullish signal, and then we had the continuation of the trend on the upside and start hitting price of around 73,000. Then I said it would be healthy to actually come back, to have a pullback, to retest these prices around 69,000, and then we have the continuation of the trend to the upside. Well, we actually overextended. We dropped to price of around 67,000, and then we had this huge snap, as I've told you, to price of around 77,000. Well, now we are breaking out of this huge yearly resistance line, and I've told you this perhaps can potentially can happen. Um, I gave you 40-45% of that happening. That's a huge percentage. So we're breaking out now, and let's see how it's gonna play out. Now, if we come back and retest this huge yearly resistance line, and we hold it price of above 76, 75,000, we hold that line and we turn into support. Then we go and we have the continuation of the trend and start snapping on the upside and start heading above 80,000. Then that's it. Bitcoin is heading for much higher prices. But let's see how it's gonna play out. For me, my personal opinion, let's just talk about the S&P 500. So S&P 500, I've been nothing but right on S&P 500 as well. Since I launched my channel here, I've said we're due for a correction. We had a 10% ABC correction, a regular one, And I said, well, I anticipate a V-shaped recovery. And I mean, that was one of my first videos, guys. That's exactly what we did. We had a V-shaped recovery, start testing all-time high prices, and then I said it'll be healthy for the overall trend to come back, retest this huge yearly resistance, this previous resistance line, return it to support, and having the continuation of the trend on the upside. In the process, we had a little corrections, but they didn't last long, and we always had the continuation of the trend on the upside, start hitting higher prices, and now we're above 6,000 prices. In the process, we actually formed a reverse head and shoulders, which measure from the head to the bottom. The price target should be above 6,200, and this is my personal opinion. That's where we're heading. Perhaps at the end of this year or early next one. Of course, we're gonna have corrections along the way. I'm not gonna be surprised if S&P 500 come back to these prices of around 5,800 or even 700. I'm not gonna be surprised at all. And then just we're gonna have higher highs and higher lows, and we have the continuation of the trend on the upside. Um, well, you know what I'm thinking, guys. I mean, because there's so much bullish momentum, and today is Sunday, and usually when we're snapping on the upside on Sunday or over the weekend, we usually come back and just retest what we've done on the weekend. So let's see how it's gonna play out. Is it possible for us to still have a huge correction on the downside? Definitely, it's still possible. Um, we have to see. We have to see. So basically, if we don't hold that line and we come back and we start heading down to 72,000, this is my personal opinion. I think next week we can potentially go to prices of around 72,000. Maybe we're gonna go and start this huge yearly. We'll test this yearly resistance line. We won't be able to break it at 76, 75, and then we're gonna have another downward momentum to 68, 69,000, and then potentially we can correct further down. Um, yeah, let's see how it's gonna play out. I still think we're due for correction, regardless that Bitcoin is at 80,000. Uh, um, I still think, my personal opinion, it will be healthy for the overall trend to have a correction. And again, I'm giving you the other option on the 45% that we're not gonna have any corrections, and then we're clearly snapping on the upside, and there's no stopping Bitcoin. And let's see how it's gonna play out. Once again, guys, thank you all. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you all for the lovely comments. If you want to subscribe to my YouTube, please do it. It's for absolutely free. And if you want to get my crypto guidebook or my other book, The Art of Chart Analysis, filled with very useful information, you can subscribe to my Patreon. And once you subscribe to my Patreon, you can get an exclusive content with 50, 100x potential. Of course, anything I say in this video is not a financial advice. It's for pure entertainment purposes, and before you do anything, do diligence and make your own research. Because anything I've said and everything I'm saying in this video, I repeat, it is not a financial advice. Once again, thank you all, and we'll see each other later on. Goodbye.